smiling.
Welcome. It's a joy to be with you this morning as we gather at Peace Lutheran Church Wednesday of the week, as preparing now for our first time of gathering in person for worship since way back in March. We thought it would just be a few weeks that we would be closed, but it's taken a long time and 6 months to get to this point. And I am so thankful for all the people who've helped in this process. And today we gather with a video to try to help you understand what will happen at Peace Church on Sunday, that you may be prepared and you may be able to come and really be blessed by what God is doing with us each and every day, especially on Sunday. So today, the people that have been helping us, Judy Hintzman, who's been working with our health team. Judy, thank you for what you've done and for your presentation with us today. We also have Mary Osane, our parish administrator, that helps us in so many ways with the operations of our congregation. And our wonderful parish nurse, Marilyn, who has helped us in so many ways with both our own personal health issues as well as making sure that we stay safe during this time of COVID. Marilyn, we welcome you today. What could you share with us about where we're at?
It has been such a blessing to watch the faithful of Peace Lutheran Church as they work through this pandemic, the way they have helped their neighbors. They have stayed home, you have stayed home to protect our community. And I'm sure it's all of these actions that have brought us to today. We're able to open to our community. Part of our decision to open at this time is based upon the metrics that has been established by the Synod. And for many weeks we have been watching the numbers, and now they are starting to drop. It was recommended that we see a decline in the number of cases for 14 days, and we are seeing that. There is some variation, but by and large it is dropping. Second metric is that the ICU occupancy be less than 70%. We are very, very dear to that percentage, and again, we're seeing less usage of ICU, so should any of us become sick, there is a place for us to be cared for. But we're most pleased to see the positivity rate of testing. Our goal was to be below 5%, and as of this week, it was 4.19%. We had been well over 10% in the past, so we are doing very nicely in that area.
Thank you, Marilyn. Today, our presentation has two parts. The first part is what you can expect from us. And to begin with, we invite Mary Osane, our parish administrator, to speak about her work of overseeing our facility.
Well, I just want to say that here at Peace, we are so excited to welcome you back to worship. We want to assure you that our facility has been being cleaned top to bottom on a daily basis. Javier has done a really great job at keeping surfaces and touch points sanitized, as has the staff that work throughout the building each day. We have touchless sanitizing stations for your convenience as you enter the narthex and as you enter the sanctuary. We also have pump sanitizers throughout the church for your use. We do encourage you to bring and use your own hand sanitizer if you can. We are using the white chairs in the worship center now, and this enables Javier to sanitize each one after use in worship, which he's been doing every Sunday already. When you come to worship, you'll notice Javier wiping down door handles and any other touch points as they are used to minimize the spread of the germs. And my hope is that when you come back to worship, that your mind can be at ease about the cleanliness of the church and the steps that we've taken so that you can focus on worshiping and hearing God's good news for you.
Marilyn?
We will be doing an assessment upon your arrival. We will have people out in the parking lot directing you around the lot. So we do not gather in cars out on McGregor Boulevard. We will have you circle the parking lot, and when you come to the corner by the church, we will assess your temperature with a touchless monitor. We just scan your forehead. It does not touch you. We will confirm your assessment that you had over the telephone when you registered, and at that point we will allow you to proceed. So there will be 2 nurses here at the corner to check. Please stop and have us check you.
Thank you, Marilyn. And Judy, what about face mask?
Well, as you can see by the presenters today, we are all in face masks. And that's something that we feel is very, very important, and we ask that you all come to church with a face mask that fits you properly. The one that I have on right now covers my nose and my mouth, fits under the chin, and there are no gaps. And so that would be a good example of the type of face mask that we would like you to wear.
Judy, could you use your microphone?
In addition to that, some of you may be using these new KN95. They're a little bit more protective, they're more expensive, but some people have been able to purchase those over the internet. And so that is a very acceptable face covering or mask. Some of you have been so creative and made your own face coverings, and that's just fine as long as it fits you correctly. Remember, the goal is to keep your nose, your mouth, and fit under your chin, and there's no gaps. If we don't have it securely placed on our face, the likelihood of our respirations go out into the air, can float on air currents, and in fact someone can breathe those in. And so we really, really emphasize the importance of face masks. I also want to mention the hand sanitizer, how important it is that you look at the label of the hand sanitizer that you do bring into church, that it does have alcohol, at least 62%. In addition to that, the pastor has sent out a list of in-person recommendations, and again, I want to emphasize the importance of hand washing before you come to church. Please wash your hands thoroughly, and then when you get back home, to do that again as well, in addition to the hand sanitizer. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Judy. Well, my friends, and you come to church on Sunday morning again, you just heard from Marilyn about the fact that they'll be doing a brief health assessment, just as when you called in to find a place for worship on this week, and take a temperature check. You'll park your car, and then you'll come into the worship center. First, you'll be greeted outside by, and we have a picture here of Anne Rousseau, and Pat will also be helping that day. You see the doors will be wide open because we do not want to have to be handling the doors. We want them to be used as the door handles not to be touched, because that's certainly a place where a virus can be transmitted. Then you'll come into the narthex, and you see when you come into the narthex, we have these movable screens in the center. This is so that when you walk in, you can walk in one way, and it just keeps the traffic flow better. And whenever we walk in, we certainly want to be walking in 6 feet apart. As you come into and then there's some other things too that are going to be very different for us than what we're used to at Peace Church. One of the things that we've always loved to do was to shake hands or to give a person a hug. Well, folks, in this time of COVID, when we have to stay 6 feet apart, we're not able to do that. And so today, the greeting is a wave, or to hold our hands together and bow to one another, to be able to share our love for them. That's just as good as a handshake. You also will know that in church, because again of our concern that about singing is one of the ways that has been found, sadly, that this virus is transmitted through the respiration that happens when we exhale and we sing, project our voice out in singing. And so for worship, we will have one singer only. And we ask you not to sing. If you wish to hum, that's fine. I've also found that I can just sing in my head. And quite honestly, I sound a lot better that way than when I do use my voice. So this is, again, something different. The text will still be on the video screens, but we ask you not to sing. When we do say a prayer, we're going to ask you to speak softly, not to try to have to project your voice. God hears even a whisper, and so we will be speaking softer. And I know that's important for me, not to use my preacher's voice, but rather to speak softly. When you come in, you'll see that the offering basket, and Chuck, you can scan over to that, will be on a little table, a credence table in front of the baptistry. You may place your offerings there, if you haven't already sent them to the church. As you enter or as you leave, the offering plate will be there for you. And the final thing is that when you come to your seat on Sunday, you'll find a little bag there. And inside the bag there will be 2 wipes as well as a small individually wrapped communion host. We have been able to purchase these communion hosts that are wrapped in a factory. They are gluten-free, so they're very concerned about the sanitation and no contamination. And so we're able to use these for communion. And when we are here on Sunday, we'll talk about how we do this. But it's a way that we can continue to share the body and blood of Christ and to make sure that we are together as God's people.
We ask that prior to leaving your home to attend church, that you thoroughly wash your hands, and it may be wise to have used your bathroom facility at that time. While you are here, you may use our bathroom facilities. However, we ask that you go one at a time. We will have a bathroom monitor. When was the last time you had a bathroom monitor? Making sure we do not have more than one person within the bathroom at any time. When you've used the bathroom, there are papers indicating the best way to clean your hands. Thoroughly wash your hands for 20 seconds, and then you may proceed back to the service.
Thank you, Marilyn. Well, now we've been sharing things that we have done in order to prepare our worship space for you, that this will be a very safe and joy-fulfilled time that we are together with the Lord on Sunday. But let's now talk about what we ask of you. And Judy, could you begin that?
Well, we ask of you that...
Microphone, Judy.
When you come to church, as Marilyn mentioned, we want to be sure you wash your hands thoroughly. We want you to enjoy the service, but we also ask that you wear your masks. This is probably one of our greatest challenges for all of us, but we know that this will make everyone safe. So please have the mask that we've recommended. If you do not have a mask, we will provide one for you before you enter the building. In addition to that, we ask that you keep your mask on until you actually exit the building altogether. Thank you.
And Judy, what if they're sick and not feeling well at home? What's your advice?
Very good question. On occasion, some of us may develop a little bit of a sore throat, or maybe a little cough, something new and different. Rather than think it'll just go away on its own, this may be a day you decide, I better not come to church and see if this develops any further. Especially if you've traveled. If you've traveled in the last 14 days and you develop that tickle in your throat or a cough or body aches or a temperature, or you lose your taste of smell, your taste or smell, we ask that you really refrain from coming to church for that particular service. So we want you to be healthy, we want you to remain healthy, and we want to remain safe for everyone that's attending the service.
So if we have any conditions ourselves that we are worried about in terms of our health, or if we're not feeling sick, if we are feeling sick, we should watch from home on the online.
Yes, definitely watch from home and see how the day progresses. And certainly if you continue to develop symptoms, you do want to contact your doctor and or get a COVID test, especially if you've traveled or you think you might have been exposed to someone.
Thank you, Judy. Mary?
Another thing that we ask is that you call in or email a registration each Sunday to attend the service. There are about 6 questions you'll be asked to confirm, and then your name will be added to the list. The list will be given to the nurses station outside as you check in each Sunday, and you'll need to stop there first and get a temperature check. Our seating is limited to 45, so please be sure to register early each week if you want to attend worship the next Sunday. Each person needs to complete the questions. If you're serving on a Sunday morning, we still need you to answer the questions, but some seats are already reserved and not part of that count. When we fill our spaces each week, you will be put on a list to get a reservation and be called for the next week before other people. Registrations will close each week, either when we fill the seats or on Fridays at 11. So please get registered. So it's going to be a lot easier to get everybody in here in a timely manner on a Sunday morning.
And Chuck, if you just would scan the worship center so that you may see how the seats have been arranged. It's very different than it has been in the past, where we try to shove every chair into every corner we have. You'll notice the chairs are 6 feet apart. Some of them are grouped together for couples. People from the home, same household, can sit together. And we're going to ask you to sit towards the front and out to the sides to begin with, so that we can again work very carefully at maintaining the social distancing. But if you have registered, there will be a place for you. Marilyn, this 6 foot and this stick that's beside you, what's this all about?
It's a wonderful stick. This is our 6-foot stick.
You have to use your microphone, Marilyn.
This is our 6-foot stick. We use that to establish the spacing for the chairs and down the center aisle, and for safe fire exit at the outer lines of the room. This is also a visual for you. This is the distance at which we should be speaking. You can visualize this, or just extend your arms. If your arms are extended and the person next to you has their arms extended, that's how far apart you should be.
We really thank Patty McLeod for that stick, and when you come, I hope you'll read it. She put sayings on there and Bible verses of hope and promise of what God is doing, and I think that's the message that we're sending forth at this time in this time of the COVID crisis. Mary, do you have anything else to say about seating?
Just that we ask you to please follow the direction of the ushers. They've been trained and will assist you in any way they can. We ask you to, like Pastor said, to start, if you would, maybe consider starting from the front and the sides of the seating, so there's less contact with other people. We have set up seats for singles and couples. And when worship concludes, the ushers will dismiss you from the back to the front, and you can exit on either side of the divider. But please remain seated until they dismiss you. I really appreciate your cooperation as we work together through the details of gathering together, and I look forward to seeing you.
And we look forward to seeing all of you too. We hope that this video, as well as the information that we have sent out to you, will be helpful to you. We've done this not to be onerous or to be heavy-handed with anyone. We're finding out that every other church that we talk to are doing the exact same things, or perhaps even more stricter than we are. But we feel that we have really worked hard to make sure that in this time when the virus is still very active, that we can gather for worship together, as long as we all do what we are called upon to do here, both as a church and as you as the congregation. As you know, with my retirement, and I think about the 21 years of things that we've gone through, I've never gone through anything like this before. But I know we're going to get through it, and we're doing a wonderful job working together. And I am so thankful in my heart and my feelings for this congregation, for the wonderful people that have supported all of us through this time. God is working and doing good things in our midst. And I look forward to seeing how that can happen again here this coming Sunday. May God bless you, keep you safe, and continue to fill you with hope and joy and love. In Jesus' name, amen.